And then also in the next passage, not only have a new capital, but we have a whole new country. And that is verse 2 through verse 4. It says what this country is like: no tears, no sorrow, no shame. That's a whole new world. That's a new country, isn't it? Then you have a new constitution. That's come to verse 5 all the way through verse 8. It tells us how heaven will operate. Want to see how heaven operates? Look at Matthew 5, 6, and 7. And how heaven operates: who will ascend into this holy place? That's heaven. Got to have clean hands and a pure heart. I'm not going to make it, are you? You've got clean hands, pure heart. It is Christ who cleans our hands. It is Jesus Christ who purifies our hearts and our motives. That's how we have the entree to heaven. So here he is telling us in heaven we have a new capital. Now we know in this particular period of time the religious capital was Jerusalem. The political capital was Rome. And we looked, the economic capital was Babylon. But now we have a new capital, a new spiritual capital, and this is what he's talking about. And you have a new country. This is something he tells us about. And then you have a new constitution as to how you live in this country. And then he elaborates on that new Jerusalem. Look at it. It begins down in verse 10. And he carried me away by the Spirit to a great high mountain. And then verse 12, it had a great high wall with 12 gates, and it goes on, describes the New Jerusalem. I spent a lot of time trying to figure out how I could go through all the dimensions of the New Jerusalem without boring half of us to death and without amazing the other half. Man, it's fabulous descriptions. But the main thing about it, it has a wall, a great wall, and we've been hearing a lot about walls lately. And it encompasses the holy city. And in that wall you have 12 gates, 3, 3, 3, 3, and it is the 12 tribes of Israel. In the foundation, it talks about the stones there, the beautiful precious stones. You have a representation of the 12 apostles. So you have the Old Testament surrounding the New Testament under the bottom. That is the foundation. And then you have this holy city, which is the New Jerusalem. By the way, it's plenty big for everybody if you want to get very literal here. You can look at this as a metaphor. You can look at it in a literal way. I think you come out at about the same place. And so you have a new Jerusalem coming down from God, and that is people, the bride of Christ. That's all of us who are written in the book of life, coming down from heaven to abide there forever and forever and forever, and then one day after that. It's called eternity. It's called eternity.